All right, guys. Let's go through these answers. All right, so let's see if we can make this big. Number one, what function is created by shifting the graph? So we got to remember, inside the parentheses is opposite of what you think, left or right. Outside the parentheses is up or down. So this is up 6, this is to the right 2. However, we're going to go to the right another 3 units and down 4 units. So if we go right 3 here, that'll make -2 -5. And if we go down 4, you need to subtract 4 from 6, you get 2, +2. So down 5, or right 5, up 2. D. Questions on the transformations by translation. That's a translation problem. All right. Number 2, write a polynomial function in standard form with zeros at 5, -4, and 1. Well, a couple ways you can complete this problem. You're going to have calculators on the test. You could realistically write this as x -5, x + 4, and x -1, and multiply that all out, and it'll give you one of these 4. Okay? Another way of doing it is actually plugging it into your calculator. Let's type in b, for example, here. So we go to y equals, let's clear this out, and we type in x to the 3rd minus 21x² plus 60x minus 9, and we graph it. All right, now that graph's not a very good graph. We go to zoom 6. So let's see where this crosses. This thing's got to cross at 5, -4, and 1. As you can tell, it does not cross at -4 at all, so B is not correct. So we go back to y equals, and we'll type in D, since I'm looking at it right here. Let's graph that one. So D doesn't look correct because it's, remember, the zeros, that means it has to cross the x-axis at 5, -4, and 1. It looks like it crosses at 1 and -1. So we type in C's answer. Let's see what we got. X to the 3rd minus 2x² minus 19x plus 20. Yep, you see the zeros, -5, 4, 1, and 4. There's your 3 zeros. So that would be the answer, C. All right, next problem. Number 3. Remember, that's the base, that's the exponent, and that's the answer. That's the base, that's the exponent, that's the answer. It's BAE, B-A-E. So it's log of B-A-E. Then, so therefore, you would say log of 17 of 6 equals M. Now, there's a base change form, and whatever the base is, it goes on bottom. So this thing will be log 6 over log 17 in your notes, and I believe that's the answer. A. Log 6 over log 17. So the answer goes on top and the base goes on bottom. Base, bottom. So those start with the letter B. Questions there? Now, number 4. Which point does not satisfy the inequality? Let's choose C here for time's sake. I believe that's the correct answer, but we'll see. We plug in these numbers for X and Y. So is 3 less than 2 times 1 minus 3. Absolute value. So is 3 less than 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And then the absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So is 3 less than 1? No. Its key word here is does not. So when you plug it in, it does not make a true statement when you do the multiplication. Therefore, that will be the answer for this problem. Number 5, a work problem. It takes Brad 1/2 hour to mow its lawn. Plus, it takes Chris 1/3 of an hour to mow the lawn. We're trying to figure out how long it takes if we put them together. And that's how you would set this problem up. Please write that down. Now, GCF, or LCD, excuse me. Least common denominator in this problem between 2, 3, and x. Well, between the numbers themselves, what number goes in 2 and 3 both go into? 6, but then you got this x. So what you want to do is write the LCD 3 times. 6x, 6x, and 6x. And do cross canceling. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so 3 times x times 1 is 3x. Plus 3 goes into 6 2 times, so 2 times x times 1 is 2x. X cancels the x out, and 1 times 6 is 6. So then we just figure out, okay, solve the equation. 5x equals 6 divided by 5. And so x is 6/5. So that is the answer. Now, 6/5 is not on here, and that's 6/5 of an hour. However, that's what, 1 1/5 hours? And I think that's C, 1 1/5 hours. Good thing is, guys, if you are looking through this to study for your exam coming up on Tuesday, you'll be able to go to YouTube and type in my name, Charles Krotz, and you can watch this video, all right, to study. Your exam is going to look just like this paper, I'm telling you. All right. Jeffrey opened a savings account at Monroe Bank. He deposited $1,000 at 4% interest compounded quarterly to the nearest year. How long will it take for Jeffrey's money to double? Well, first of all, you got to remember the formula. So the final amount equals the beginning amount 1 plus the R over Q, or not Q, compounded. Well, just compounded over C times the number of time there. You're supposed to put in there, but compounded C, that's good. So we just plug in the numbers. We have, how long will it take the money to double? Well, we started with 1,000. We want it to get to 2,000. So we set this formula up. 2,000 equals 1,000, parentheses 1 plus, the rate is 0.04. You got to change 4% to 0.04 over compounded quarterly. So we need to put a 4 down. And then that's 4 times the time, because the question is how much time does it take? All right, so that's how we set this formula up. First thing we can do here is divide by 1,000. And so when you divide 2,000 into 1,000, you get 2, don't you? So 2 equals, also we can do the arithmetic here, 1 plus 0.04, and I'm going to do that on the calculator. Let's see here, second quit. Let's do parentheses, 1 plus parentheses 0.04 divided by 4, parentheses, parentheses. And you get 1.01. So I'm going to write 1.01, and that's raised to the 4t. Okay, here's the key to the whole problem. We want to log both sides. And the reason why we're going to log both sides is the variable is in the exponent. We need to move it to the front. So if we log both sides, we can now take this 4t and move it to the front. So we're going to put 4t right there. We are trying to get t by itself. So we're going to divide by the log of 1.01. So now, in the calculator, see, we can actually compute this because this is base 10. So log 2, get it to a point here, log 2 divided by log 1.01, we get 69.6 equals 4t. Then we divide it by 4. So we take that answer, divide it by 4. We get 17.4 years. 17.4 years. So if we look at our 4 answers, 17.4 years. If we look at our 4 answers, looks like A. To the nearest year. Because 17.4 still rounds down to 17. Number 7. Use the following information to answer which graph matches this. Probably the simplest question on the test. We type this into the calculator and y equals. Clear that one out and we'll type in 4 parentheses 1.3 parentheses rooftop x and graph it. All right, so let's see what we can eliminate by looking at that answer there. We can eliminate A. Definitely. Now, B, C, and D, we got to figure out which one is which. Well, the key for this is look where this thing intersects. So if we go to second table, the y-intercept is 4. You see that? 0, 4. So 0, 4, this dot, the graph goes through that dot. So what is that, B? B's got to be the answer. C and D go through 2. I would just match up ordered pairs. So I would go to my table. So B is the answer. Number 8, describe the shape of the cross section. What's that look like? Look like a pentagon? No, it looks more like a trapezoid to me. Cross section 8B. All right. Number 9. Okay, this here is an open circle. This is a closed circle. This looks like an open circle. This looks like a closed circle. That's important for the whole question. Now, this is what's called a piecewise function. We did this back in September. It's been a while. So, for any numbers less than -5, that's the formula. We'll look at all 4 of these. They're all the same. So that's this piece. So I'm going to highlight that. This yellow one is this piece. You see, that's an open circle because right there on this arrow, there's no line under it. Therefore, it's got to be an open circle. And we have an open circle. All right? So let's look at the middle one. This is an upside down parabola. You got a closed circle on the left side and an open circle on the right side. And that's at -5 to 0. So if I look at this, -5 to 0, -5 to 0, this one's not even correct. So C is eliminated and D is also eliminated just because of the closed and open circle. So is there any difference in between A and B? Sure there is. What is the difference? There's a +2 here and there's a -2 here. -2 means this thing was shifted to the right. +2 means this thing was shifted to the left. Now look at that parabola. Was it shifted left or right? It shifted left, wasn't it? So A's got to be the answer just because of that very reason. +2 in the middle, and it's upside down. It says +2. That plus 2 means this graph was started here and it moved left 2 and up 6, right? Isn't that ordered pair? Negative 2, 6. That's your vertex. The rest of it don't matter. We eliminated all the answers. All right. Please watch the video if you need to look back at that one again. Number 10. Over the last year, the stocks value of the internet company has dropped at a rate of 17% a month. So this is a decay problem. So the final amount equals the initial amount, 1 minus the rate times the time. Normally the time is going to be in years. However, this is going to be in months because we're measuring it over 1 year. What was the value of the stock at the end of the year? So we're looking for this, right? We have the initial amount, which is $19.25. It 1 minus and the rate of 17% per month. So that thing was compounded 12 times. So if you put all that into the calculator, you can get it. Try to get all this on the screen. Here we go. 19.25 parentheses 1 minus 0.17 rooftop 12. Oh, I forgot the parentheses. Insert a parentheses. $2.57. Oh, there it is. C as in cat. $2.06. All right, number 11. Which function has vertical asymptotes x equals -3 and x equals 1/2? Okay. In order to figure vertical asymptotes, we need to figure the zeros of the denominator. The easiest way to do this is to take the bottom denominator and type it into y equals like this, 4x squared plus 10x minus 6. I hope you're watching this. This is an easy problem. So you type this into the calculator, you graph it. Look where your zeros is at. You see where they cross the x-axis? Looks like it 1, 2, 3. So at -3 and almost 1/2. Oh, that looks like an answer, right? If you want to make sure, you can calculate your zero. How? We definitely know this one's -3. There's my Space Invader. You see my Space Invader feller here? That's left of that. Go up above it. That's right of it. Enter. And it says the zero is 0.5. So I do know that A is an answer. All right, well, I need to try B because look at my D answer. It says all of the above. So we need to try to B. If B works, then C's probably going to work too, isn't it? So let's type in B. 2x squared 5x. And the funny thing about it is, if I took that and divided it by 2, I think this is probably going to work. We'll see. Zoom 6. Looks the same, doesn't it? So it works as well. So D is the answer. Find your zeros on the bottom for vertical asymptotes. The zeros of the denominator. 12. Isabel invested 2,000. Got too many invested words there. Into an account with a rate of 5.25% compounded monthly. Approximately how long will it take for money to double? That's just like the other one we just did. So this one is 4,000, 1 plus 0.0525 over 12t. Remember what we did? We moved it, we divided it by the 2,000, and then we logged both sides. and then we move the 12t to the front, and then we solve for the logs. All right, I'll do it again. All right, so this will be 2 equals 1. Let me put that in parentheses. Parentheses 1 plus another parentheses 0.0525 divided by 12. Parentheses, parentheses. And we get 1.004375 to the 12t. Now, if we go ahead and log both sides, so basically what we'll have is 12t equals log 2 over log, and for the video, guys, I kind of switched this around, put my 12t on the left. And so therefore, the 12t moves to the front, and then you divide by the log of, under the log of 2. That's what I did here, but I just flipped it across. Now, take your calculator. Good thing on the Apple calculators, if you turn them sideways, you can do logarithms on there. But you'll be able to use these on the final, but I'm just saying working it at home if you decide to mess with one. Log 2 divided by log of 0.004375. You get 158. So 12t equals 158.7799, blah, blah, blah. And then divide by 12, right? So just keep it on the calculator, divide by 12, you get 13.23. Be careful. Look what the answers are. We have 2 13s on here. 13 years, 13 months, 12 years, 12 months. We're compounded monthly. This is a trick question. The answer is years. Be careful on that when you do it. $13. Choose the correct answer. A couple ways you can do this. There's 3 ways you can do this. Way number 1, this is a systems of equations. You can substitute, you can solve this one for y. You can say y equals negative x minus 4. That one's gone. And you can substitute negative x minus 4 in for y. That's way number 1. And then figure it all out. Probably not the way you would do it. Way number 2, take your calculator, solve the top one for y. And when you solve the top one for y to save time right now, the answer will be y equals negative x squared plus 8x minus 22. And you take both of those and plug them into the calculator and see where they intersect. Way number 3, you take your answers and plug them in for x's and y's to see where they're equal to each other. I'm going to choose way number 2. I'm going to take my calculator. I'm going to type in negative x squared plus 8x minus 22. And then go to the second one and type in negative x minus 4. I'm going to graph this. It crosses twice, doesn't it? Look at that. Now, you can go to your table and see where they are the same. Right here, you see 3, 3 negative 7, and 6 negative 10. D. Oh, that's the easiest way if you know how to solve for y. And before maths, you was able to solve for y in math 1. That's all you ever did, it seemed like. 14, long division problem. One way you can actually do this is take negative 2, substitute it in, and see what you get for the final answer. And you'll either get 3 or 6 because that's what your remainders are. Okay, so you would have been able to eliminate half of them right off the bat by using the remainder theorem. So I hope you catch that on the video. Now, however, You were supposed to use long division or synthetic division. I didn't really teach you a whole lot about synthetic division. But let's write this in. X fifth minus 4x4 minus 9x third minus x squared minus x plus 21. Let's see. Let me make sure I got it written down correctly. All right, now I do. All right, now I'm going to blow this up some. Focus it some. All right, here we go. What makes x to the fifth? X to the fourth. Remember, we got to skip a space. And we multiply x to the fifth plus 2x to the fourth. We draw a line, change the signs, cancel it out. So we got -4 and -1. We got -5x4. Drop down. Then what makes x -5x4? That'd be a -5x3. And then we multiply that, it's -10x to the third. Draw the line, change the signs, mark out. And we got x to the third. Drop down to x squared. What makes x to the third? A positive x squared. X to the third plus 2x squared. Draw the line, change the signs, cancel out. -x squared, bring down to -x. What makes that? -x. Draw the line, change the signs, cancel out. What makes that? +1. Must have messed up somewhere. I need to double check here. Because when I do that, that's only going to be 2, and that's going to end up 19, and I don't have nowhere near 19 here. Let me look here. I messed up on the sign somewhere. So if you get to the end and you don't have one of these 4 answers, I bet you that's a 2, isn't it? It is. That's where I messed up. 6, 6, 6, 12, 3, 3, 3, 6. That's 5. That's 5. That's 5. And that's 10. Should be 9. +9. That should be 18. Change the signs, cross out, so +3. So the answer is A. Answer is A. It's amazing. Even I sit there and messed up because I couldn't read my writing right there. But anyway, answer is A. All right. Here we go. Value of investment. Let me zoom this back out. What's the interest rate? So we got the formula. A shouldn't be there. The value of an investment can be predicted by the function investment equals the principal. Oh, what's the rate? You see this 0.078? You got to move the decimal 2 places, so it's 7.8%. A. Very simple. 16, transformation will perform with the log of 5 to create this. So this thing moved right 6, up 4. D. Right 6, up 4. 16. 17. It says, what's the highest acceptable weight? It says the desired is 32, but not more than a half. So 32 and a half, B. Number 18, find the zeros. So understand that's 0, 3, and 2. The 3 zeros here are 0, 3, and 2. It's the opposite of the signs. Remember, anytime it's in parentheses, it's opposite of what you think. So where does it cross the zeros? Now these lines are missing. 0, 2, and 3. This one is correct. No. Why is that one? This graph is right, but these zeros are wrong, you see? So it's D. D is the answer for number 18. Look at that. They cross at 0, 2, and 3. Number 19. Find the x-intercepts of the polynomial function. Well, this is this bouncing off thing. You see, this is 0, -3, and 9. It squiggles through 3 or 0. It bounces off -3 because it's squared, and it goes through 9. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's upside down. This is an even function, but this thing's upside down, so it looks something like this. Okay? 0 crosses the x-axis. 3. That's not even right. A is not even right because 3 is not even the answer. 0 crosses the x-axis. -3 touches the x-axis and turns around. 9 crosses the x-axis. That one looks pretty good. That one looks pretty good. Let's see what the rest of them say. 0 touches the x-axis and turns around. No. No. 0 touches the x-axis and turns around. No. B. B as in boy for number 19. Number 20, cross multiplication problem. We would take the denominator and multiply it to the top to the numerator by using distributive property. So it would be a -2 times x plus 3 equals 4, parentheses x plus 4. So that's a -2x minus 6 equals 4x plus 16. So therefore, that's 6x equals -22. So divide by 6. That's a negative, let's see, 11 thirds. D. Number 21, in order to prove the quadrilateral ABCD is a rectangle, what would have to be true? Well, you got to have right angles. You got to have parallel lines. Let's see. A and D are parallel, and angle B is 90. Sounds pretty good. A and D are parallel, and AD and BC are congruent. That's good, but that's not as good as A because that could be a parallelogram. So this one's not right. We have parallel lines. Well, that could be a parallelogram as well. AD and BC are parallel. AD is congruent to BC. And angle B is 90 degrees. AD is parallel to BC. AD is congruent to BC. And I think D's the best answer. Angle B's 90. All right. Next one. Name all possible names for this quadrilateral. We have a right angle. We have congruent sides. Parallelogram. Yep, it's a parallelogram. Is it a rectangle? Yep. Is it a square? Nope. Is it a parallelogram? Yes. Is it a rectangle? Yes. Is it a rhombus? Nope. You know what a rhombus and a square? It's got all the sides got to be equal, right? Can it be a parallelogram? Yes. Can it be a rectangle? Yes. Trapezoid? No. Because you got two pairs of parallel sides. That 90-degree angle tells you that. All right. Which of the following graphs shows an equation and its inverse? Now, let me show you how you know an inverse. Remember, we folded that paper that one day, and we drew at 45-degree line. That's the y equals x line. And if you fold that paper on the y equals x line, those two graphs should match up on top of each other. So A definitely does not do that. You cannot fold this over here, and it's going to lay on top of this line. Now, B looks like you can. B looks good. Let's look at C and D. It's on the next page. C, no. D, no. So the answer is B. That's how you tell something's an inverse. You draw that 45-degree angle line. All right. We talked about this excluded values forever. We have to factor this. Two sets of parentheses. So that's x minus 2, x plus 1. This one is x minus 2, x minus 1. All right, so the excluded values. It says simplify the following rational expression, state any excluded values. Well, x cannot be 2, -1, or +1. 2, -1, +1. So all these excluded values are the same, so that doesn't matter. However, how do you solve this problem? Well, you take this and multiply it over here. That's -1. And you take this and you multiply it over here. All right, and let me tell you what happens. We have some stuff cancel. We have 2x parentheses x minus 1 over, well, we'll continue that in a minute. And then we have minus 4x parentheses x plus 1 over x minus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1. If we multiply this out, that's 2x squared minus 2x minus 4x squared minus 4x. Let's see. So the answer will be -2x squared minus 6x over those three parentheses. And with the excluded values all alike, looks like A is the answer by what I wrote down right here. Slow the video down if you need to when you see it. All right. 25, the graph of the equation is this, and the image. All right. Oh, this one you can't do because I don't have a second part, but I'm going to put a -4 right here. So if I put a -4 right there, that thing moved left 7 and down 4. We'll just choose D for that one. 26. LCD. We have to do LCD is 6W. We write 6W down 3 times. So 6W is canceled. We have 5. The W is canceled there. We have 6. When you multiply 6 times 1, and that equals -24W. So that's 11 equals -24W. Divide by -24. So W equals 11 over -24. C. 27. Use the properties of an isosceles trapezoid to find a measure of angle B and D. These two add up to 180. These two are actually 180 as well. So B is, so 5x plus 28, is that an 8 or a 6? 6. Equal 12x minus 2 because these two are equal in an isosceles trapezoid. So this is 7x equals 28, so x equals 4. Well, if x equals 4, and if this one is 5x plus 26, so that's 20 plus 26, that's 46. If that one's 46, this one is 180 minus 46, which is 134. So D is 134 and B is 140, that's 46. C. (28) Which of these functions has no vertical asymptotes? Well, that means you don't have any zeros on the bottom. These x minus 7s cancel, so 5 is an asymptote. 7 is a whole. This one is x. This one has an asymptote of whatever this factors out. This has an asymptote of 2. If we factor this, that's what that is factored in. And guess what? Everything cancels out to 1. So D has no vertical asymptote because everything canceled out, even though you have zeros on the bottom. Number 29, find the domain of the rational function. Okay. So here we are once again talking about, let's factor this. This is x. That's 8 and 2. 8x plus 8, x minus 2. So we have vertical asymptotes at 8, negative 8, and positive 2. It goes from infinity to negative 8, from negative 8 to positive 2, and then from positive 2 to infinity, D. Negative 8 and positive 2 are the VAs, the vertical asymptotes, and that's why that's listed like that. These U's are called unions, by the way. Number 30, where are your zeros? Negative at 4, negative 2, and negative and 1. So it has to be minus 4, plus 2, minus 1. That one looks pretty good. This one's not right. Minus 4, that one's not right. That was not right. So A is the answer. Just because, remember, they have to be opposites inside parentheses. It's like I taught you day 1. 31, 30, 60, 90. That's 30, that's 60, and this is 90. Remember, it's x, 2x, and x square root of 3. What is the length of the hypotenuse? The side length, 3 meters for the short leg. Oh, excuse me, I got this backwards. So it's 3 here. What is the length of the hypotenuse? Let me rewrite this here. So x, 2x, x squared root of 3. If the short leg is 3, the long leg is double that. So A, 6. 32. The radian measure for 315-degree angle. Well, in a circle, this is 270. So what's 270? That's 45 more, isn't it? That's 315. So every 45, that's pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is taking pi over 180. Pi over 180 is x to 315. You can solve that proportion and find it as well. So x would be 315 pi over 180 and then reduce. And to graph the negative 2 sine of x, remember sine starts there and it's supposed to go 1 to -1. That's sine of x. However, if you want to do 2 sine of x, and it's got to be flipped, it would go underneath. That is -2 sine of x. Y equals. All right. Next time I'll see you will be for this exam. Hopefully watch the video. Just type my name into YouTube.